Hey YouTubers, how you doing today? This is your friendly host, Shadow Rat Man, coming at you. So, I'm here today to give my own personal twist or opinion, whatever you want to call it, on the next potential Zelda game. And I know that that's kind of already in the air because of the one that's supposed to be popped on the Wii U. I'm talking about after that. So, I'm not sure how all of you feel or whatever, but for those of us who are Zelda fans, we all have our own spin on what it should have, what should be taken out, whatever else. But I've recently read a review and someone's own personal twist on it, and I can't say I completely agree with everything. But what I can say that I agree with is, granted that Zelda 2 Link's, I think it was Awakening, on the NES, or for those of you who are watching this and don't know what that is, that's the first Nintendo system. The Nintendo Entertainment System is what it stood for. Yes, it kind of bombed, but at the same time, it was very successful. With the whole RPG aspect. Now, I believe that this should be reincorporated into the newer Zelda games, such as it would have been a great thing for Twilight Princess, or it could have even been a great thing for Skyward Sword had they wanted to play it. They did in a way with all the weapons. And I loved Skyward Sword. Skyward Sword was awesome. My only problem with that game was the boss in prison. That was the most annoying thing in the entire game. You had to face it 3 times. But anyways, back to the point is, I believe that they should incorporate an RPG feel to it again. Like, it's got the action adventure. And as this review gave a reference to, Darksiders. But they need to add the RPG aspect to it like they did with Darksiders 2, which made Darksiders 2 very, very addicting. I've already played through it about twice because it was so much fun. Something that I believe they can add to the Zelda games is after gameplay, you know? Yeah, the game is an amazing... All the Zelda games have always been amazing for replayability because they were either slightly of a challenge but also very simplistic to get through. And for all of us Zelda fans, we've all tried to find shortcuts and, okay, how much can we cheat the system to get an item early on? And getting all the optional weapons and items in the game has always been fun. Sometimes very challenging, such in Ocarina of Time, to get the ice arrows or to get your 4th bottle. Pain in the butt shooting 10 ghosts and then also trying to find all the keys in the stupid Gerudo training facility and trying to pick the correct path. I don't know what's worse, the water temple in Ocarina of Time or that stupid Gerudo training facility. And as that music just indicated, you're doomed either way. So what I gotta get at is simply that with Legend of Zelda, it has always been addictive because of the simple fact the puzzles are easy enough but still challenging. It holds a certain charm, if you would. Now, one thing I can say is I wish that they would either add more weapons to it, and at the same time they need to bring back weapons from some other games. Also, they need to get a solid storyline, because honestly the timeline for Legend of Zelda is just ridiculous. Um, Another thing I can say is that no matter what Zelda game you're playing, if you are an action or adventure gamer, you'll love it. If you're an RPGer and you like different weapons and such, challenging dungeons and bosses, and lots of optional quests, then you would love Zelda. Although many people debate it should be called The Legend of Link, because your main character is Link, not Zelda. I, for one, am one of those people. But it's fine because Link, his name is still mentioned in plenty of the titles, such as A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening, I think that's actually about it. I think there's only one or two other titles I'm missing. But in any case, but with a spin on the games, I think that they should make, because something else that gets at me about these games is simply you get a new weapon in a dungeon and they pretty much have you use the weapon for that dungeon, and then after that it becomes non-existent. It is very rare that you would ever use that weapon again. Such, for example, using, I don't know, the Deku Nuts. No, that ain't the Megaton Hammer in Ocarina of Time. You hardly ever use the thing ever again. Unless you're one of those people that are like a heavy hitter type. Where you're willing to take a hit or two. Now, honestly, if they bring in the RPG aspect of leveling up and gaining defense points and such as like they did with a fan-made game called The Legend of Zelda, Power, Wisdom, and Courage. Awesome game. Difficult, but awesome. If they did an aspect like that to where you could get like attribute points and apply them to whatever stat you see fit, that would be actually pretty. That would make you want to use certain weapons more. Such as if you're a heavy hitter, you'll apply those points to defense and attack power. Screw your health and screw your speed, you would apply it to attack and defense. Or your defense and HP. But the point is you would apply it based on how your playstyle is. Now, one thing I can honestly say that I do not agree with this guy on his review is character customization. Link is Link for a reason. If we start changing him, he's no longer Link. I do not believe you should be able to change any of his aspects. Not his skin tone, not his body type, not his hair color, not his eyes. He's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed adventurer who is courageous. Simple. Character customization, out of the question. Something I would add to the game would be more of an actual evil's bane. The master, once you get the Master Sword, it's pretty much indicated that you will not survive in the game without it. And I believe that the game is too heavily focused on that. I will agree with this guy. And even on that aspect, the Master Sword isn't that much stronger than your starting weapon, which is kind of messed up. Like in Ocarina of Time, I'm sorry I keep using that reference, it's my favorite one in all of this series, is simply, you get the big Goron sword, yes, it's a little bit slower, but God does it deal some damage. Between using the big Goron sword and the Megaton Hammer, any heavy hitter playstyle would just be astounding. So if you want us to use the Master Sword more, give it more of its evil Bane ability. You know, okay, well, it has an increased ability against all dark creatures, which is pretty much what you face in the game, but still, you know, give us more variety, something. Now in all the Legend of Zelda series, throughout the entire franchise, in my opinion, Ocarina of Time is the best one. Despite that one would be Twilight Princess. Although I have no idea in God's green earth why everyone seems to fanboy over Majora's Mask. The storyline ain't that good. It is literally the hardest title in the series. Heck, you look at the top 10 Legend of Zelda bosses, 4 of the bosses from Majora's Mask, which is all 4 of them, might I add. This minus the Skull Kid and some of the sub-bosses. But those 4 main bosses from the temples are going to be on that list. And don't even get me started on the fish one from there. Gyorg, I think his name was. That was a hard boss. I don't care who you are, how good you are. You cannot deny that boss was hard. Plain and simple, Majora's Mask is not the greatest game of the series. Like, the greatest ones, you got Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess. Heck, even the Oracle games on the Game Boy Color were amazing for them being a handheld game. But on my list, I would put Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past from the Super Nintendo or SNES, Twilight Princess. 4th one in my series, I'd have to give it to Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages, because I like the aspect of traveling back and forth in time to figure out your dungeons and such. And my top 5th one would probably have to be Skyward Sword. And now this is my current list, because Skyward Sword may be replaced, or even Twilight Princess may be. But my top 2, they ain't going nowhere. They haven't. And I don't think they ever will. One I've kind of left out is The Link Between Worlds. The one on the Nintendo 3DS. This is a great game as well. Probably one of the better ones of the handheld series. And the new one coming out is Triforce Heroes. That looks amazing. But it looks like I'm running my review a little bit long. Long story short, I might release this part 2 to this video. I'm not sure. I still have to work it out. I gotta go back on this review and make notes. But for those of you who have watched this to the end, I appreciate it. Please leave your comments. Please don't leave nasty ones. If you feel I left something out, though, say so. Like me, subscribe to me, and have a great day. I will see you all soon. Have a good one.